to really take a look at the standards for mathematical practice that we'll be implementing next year and see how I could incorporate them into my lessons, how the students would respond to the activities that we created, and then getting to talk about that with you was definitely very beneficial.
Definitely the best part of this whole process for me was getting back in the math classroom. As a former math teacher, I missed that. And then, of course, working with one of the best math teachers in Fulton County, coming into your classroom and working with you and your students and just being a sounding board for you. And I miss having that and being able to do that. So I was honored to be asked to be a part of it, and it was a great experience for me too.
Dr. Marcia Tate. She is the CEO of Developing Minds Incorporated. She has the author of the book Worksheets Don't Grow Dendrites, as well as Math Worksheets Don't Grow Dendrites, and a personal favorite of my own, Sit and Get Doesn't Grow Dendrites, where she really talks about instructional strategies that are brain friendly. So please welcome Dr. Marcia Tate.
When I ask the question, if you'd like the answer, raise your hand. Question number one, would you like to know how to look 5 to 10 years younger, how to live longer and be healthier? Anybody interested in that? Yes. I'll tell you one way now, and you'll have to check me out later and get there. 9 other ways, but here's one of the main ways: laughter. Yes. Laughter adds 8 to 10 years to your life. And if you don't believe that, you haven't noticed the age at which most of you can be. Now, we lost Bernie Mac at the young age of 50. He's actually the exception. He's not the rule. George Burns lived to be 103, and he smoked cigars and drank. Betty White's celebrating her 90th birthday. Phyllis Diller is still living at the age of 98. Dick Van Dyke is 88. Comedians live a long time. When you're laughing, you're increasing the number of T cells in your body. That's your immune system. So people who laugh a lot have stronger immunity against disease and illness. Did you know that the brain doesn't know the difference between real laughter and fake laughter? So if you're not tickled, you can fake it, and it'll have the same result. And guess what? It doesn't have to be real laughter. It can be fake laughter. How many of you know people who have a difficult time smiling? When you leave this wonderful occasion tonight, go home and buy them a smile on a stick. This is a smile on a stick. It comes in all races. Go to humorproject.com and get them a smile on a stick. Humorproject.com. I will be telling you jokes and riddles throughout the keynote. If they're not funny, just fake the laughter. Here's your first joke. 3 women having conversation at lunch. One woman commented about the fact that as she's getting older, she's losing her memory. She said, "My memory is so bad. I can be sitting on the side of my bed at home and I can't remember whether I'm getting up or going to sleep." Another woman said, "Honey, I know what you mean. My memory's bad too. I can be standing on my stairs at home and I can't remember whether I'm going up or coming down." The third one said, "You all are pitiful. My memory is so much better than yours. Knock on wood. Come in." Let's start with talking about the fact that less is more. I had the privilege over the last 5 years of teaching twice in Singapore. Singaporean students have some of the highest math scores in the world, and I was teaching teachers who teach in Singapore. So I met with the head of the Principals Academy and I asked them, "How do you teach math? I'm very, very interested." In a brain-compatible classroom, there is a lot of student engagement. But a teacher should not waste a single minute of time trying to get students' attention. Teachers, how many of you have a way to get your students' attention? It does not have to be a child. It can be whatever you want it to be. But you need a way to get their attention, otherwise you're wasting too much time talking over their talking or waiting for them to get quiet. One teacher told me in my classroom management class, she said, this is how I get my students' attention. I say, Red Robin, and the whole class goes, yum. I am going to put up the model for teaching math in Singapore. I want you to talk to your partner, the person you just identified, and I want you to talk to them about this. Does this mathematics framework look like ours, look like what we value in the United States? If it does, how is it the same? And if it's not, how is it different? All right, talk to your partner. How does this differ from what we value in teaching mathematics in the U.S.? Does it differ? And if so, how does it differ? Talk to your partner, please. What was in the center? What was in the center of that model? Problem solving. See, the goal of math instruction is to solve problems in the real world. That is the ultimate goal of instruction in math, to solve problems in the real world. So everything centers around mathematical problem solving. How many of you saw some differences in that model and the models we consider when in teaching math? If you saw a difference, raise your hand. Okay? Can I get somebody to tell me what's a major difference you saw? What's a major difference that you saw in that model? Yes, sir.
I'll tell you something my wife partner said, attitude.
Okay.
Attitude.
Yep. They spend a lot of time and put a lot of emphasis on attitude. And attitude is so, so important. How many children walk into a classroom and say, I can't do math. I can't do math. We've got to change that attitude, because the minute you tell your brain it can't do math, it won't do math. It won't do math. And I want to use an example of what confidence can do for math ability, and I want to use an analogy to sports, because you can see this clearly in sports. You ever seen a baseball player get a hit? That hit can give the brain so much confidence they'll come back later in the same game and get another hit. That's because success breeds success. Who's an athlete that over the last 2 years has lost his confidence? Tiger Woods has not lost his ability to play his ability to play golf. He's lost his confidence in his ability to play golf. And until the confidence comes back, the game's not coming back. I want my students to have confidence in their ability to do math. And so we have a motto that is a mnemonic device, and it's what math stands for. Now, I know this is not grammatical, but I had to make it fit. Math stands for, math ain't that hard. It's just not that hard. Okay. That is our mnemonic device. Math ain't that hard. Get them moving. Get them involved. Get them engaged. Because you involve more of the brain when you have students actively engaged in doing math. So, when I teach math, because I still go in classrooms all over the world, and I take a teacher's class and I teach them for about a period while other teachers observe the lesson. So when I teach math, this is how we learn math. I have every student stand up beside their desk, and we do this together. This is a line. A line has no endpoints. This is a line segment. A line segment has 2 endpoints. This is a ray. Ray has 1 endpoint. Parallel lines, intersecting lines, right angle, obtuse angle, acute angle. Slope of the line is positive. Slope is negative. Slope is 0. The slope is undefined. 90-degree turn, 90-degree turn, 180-degree turn. If teachers would teach math that way, students would know some math. And they not only know math for some tests, they would still know math when the test is over. And I want to tell you why. When you are moving, you're putting information in one of the strongest memory systems. By the way, right across from that brain fact, take your pen or pencil and write, involve both the brain and the body. Involve both the brain and the body during math instruction. Involve both the brain and the body during math instruction. Brain needs to hear something at least 3 times before it sticks. Don't teach a concept in math once and wonder, why didn't everybody get it? Brain needs to hear it more than once. Okay. When you are moving, you're putting information in one of the strongest memory systems in the brain. It is known as procedural or muscle memory. It is the reason people never forget how to ride a bike, never forget how to drive a car. How many of you can drive a stick shift? You'll never forget that. I don't care how long you drive an automatic. That's not going away. Okay? It's the reason the reason the football coach at Wiley, Texas, when I was teaching out there, stood up and said, Marcia, that explains something to me. Why my football players, the teachers tell me, cannot retain their content, can remember every play on the field. And I said, absolutely, that's because you're running the place. In class, they're just sitting there watching their teacher do all the work. Teachers tell me, well, my students just can't get math, or they can't remember anything. Those same students are going down the hall singing the lyrics to every rap, every song, every rhyme that comes on the radio. And it's because music helps you remember. Music helps you remember. That music changes states or moods in the brain. Music changes states or moods in your brain. I can make you happy, I can make you sad, I can make you calm, I can agitate you by the type of music I choose to play. TV and movie producers know this. You ever been looking at a movie, they play a song, you'll be in tears right in the middle of the movie? Or they'll play energizing music like the theme from Rocky and have you feel like you can conquer the world? On test day, you don't want students stressed out over a test. You want them knocking the top out of the math test because you got to give them confidence. And so this is the song that my daughter plays when her students have a math test. She doesn't want them sitting there weeping and stressed out, so she plays this one. Because they're going to rock the test. They're going to rock the test. We're gonna rock you. We're gonna rock the test. My daughter taught at a Title I school, 90% free and reduced lunch. You cannot pass the math section of the criteria reference test if you can't multiply. She was teaching 3rd grade. One of the ways she taught her students to multiply was with music. And when they come in the morning, she said, put your book bags down, stand up beside your desk, it's time to rock and learn. And they would do the multiplication facts to music. When it was time for the 3rd grade promotion test, she looked out and this is what someone were doing while they were testing. She said, you cannot sing out loud because you can't give anybody the answers. But if you need to sing to yourself, sing on. And it worked because even her special ed students knocked the top out of that test because music helps you remember.